Getting pretty dark out there, but in this video we're going to be planting that root pruning bed with sort of an experiment. I've got my persimmon and chestnut seeds in here that I've already processed them, and they've been, some of them in storage for over a month now, some of the chestnuts. I wish I had some chestnuts that weren't in cold storage yet, but I don't. I've also got some black walnuts over here that I kind of hulled a little bit with my foot, and they've been sitting in a bucket of water, just sort of wash them off better. So we're going to plant some of them black walnuts, some chestnuts, and some persimmon seeds in that air pruning bed. Today is November 4. I am in zone 6C, the USDA zone, and we're going to do an experiment to see how they germinate, if they germinate. We'll just do a small portion of them, maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 of each. See how they do. So I'm going to grab some out of the refrigerator here. I'll meet you over at the root pruning bed. This camera does a poor job picking up the light. The garage light's on now, so I can see pretty well out here. I forgot when I started digging in the refrigerator, I got some pawpaw seeds. I forgot all about them, so we're going to do 4 sections here. And I got some cedar shims. These are for like shimming up doors. Just something to sort of lay in the dirt that I don't mind, being in the dirt with these seeds. I don't want to, I wouldn't think plastic would leach or anything, but I got it handy, so I'm just going to use these cedar shims. We're just going to make little dividers out of these shims, so we'll have, walnuts, pawpaws, persimmons, and chestnuts, and we'll just see how they do. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few of these out. The pawpaws were not scarified, and I read that they don't have to be. The persimmons were, and the chestnuts were not. The walnuts were not either. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff laid out, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So it's getting pretty late out here, and like I say, I can see okay with that light, but this camera does a terrible job. So I've got these 3 little bays. I'm making a little bay out of the cedar shim. So that was walnuts. This was oh shoot, I'm making a note so I don't forget. Walnut, then pawpaw, then persimmon, and I'm writing down how many of them I'm planting, and I've numbered the bays, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm putting the cardinal directions so I know the orientation of the bed, so I'm not looking at it upside down or anything. And then number 1, I haven't finished yet, but I just almost am. I sort of excavated the dirt out of the bay a little bit, and then I laid my chestnuts in there. And how many of them is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 30 chestnuts, and I'm just gonna cover those up. Just pull dirt in on top of them. Make sure my divider stays there. And I'm only planting everything about 2 to 3 inches deep. I figure that's probably about as deep as a squirrel would plant them out in nature, so that's what we're going to try to do, is sort of mimic nature. So just about got that covered up nice. Make sure I can still see my divider. Uncover that a little bit, maybe a little more soil on there. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark on my note here the date that I planted them, just out of curiosity. And then I'll keep this note handy somewhere in the house. I'm not going to put markers in the bed, like, write on something with a Sharpie and stick it out here like a plant tag. I've done that in the past, and the Sharpie actually will fade out with just the weather. So I've put tags on stuff, and then 2 months later, nothing is written on that tag anymore, so it just completely faded away. So that's why I'm making this note here. So I'll leave this in a convenient location where I won't forget it, and we'll check back in the spring. So I hope I helped you with this, guys. If you're curious about air pruning beds and planting things in them, maybe give you some ideas of what to try, what not to try, click that subscribe button, and I'll check back in the spring, and we'll see what happened with these. So I hope I helped you. Again, click that like button if you like this sort of stuff. Click the subscribe button, and until next time, keep on tinkering.